I told you Chicken Little was next. Well, Chicken Little isn't one of the worst animated movies I've ever seen, like Dougal. However, it is still one of the worst Disney movies I've seen. Won't take too long with the intro. I just wanted to get this over with and watch a better movie like Snatch, or The Boondock Saints, or Shrek 2. What Chicken Little tried to do was to establish a tone that appeals to children, and it exceeded. As I hate to admit it, but I actually really liked this film when I was little. I am not alone on this opinion. There are so many people my age who loved this film at a young age. Some of them still do love this movie to this day, and that is completely valid. You're allowed to like this movie if you want. So while that sounds like something I can praise, it isn't, because boy is this film pandering. It feels more like an Illumination movie or a pre-Spire for Sony movie than a Disney movie for 2005. It insults your eyes with bright, kid-appealing visuals, and it insults your ears with fresh pop music that tricks every 5-year-old into thinking this is a good movie. Now that's out of the way, let's go into the real reasons why this movie is bad. So it isn't really a secret anymore that Buck Cluck is a terrible father. Every YouTuber who has reviewed this movie has gone into why Buck Cluck is a terrible father. But I'm going to rehash those reasons because I want to. This guy is one of the most unlikable characters I've seen in an animated movie. It takes Chicken Little till the climax of the movie to finally tell his father, "You have been nothing but neglectful and abusive since my freak out over the sky falling." So for a whole hour we have seen this guy be narcissistic and neglectful towards his son. Even when it seems he's proud of his son, like in the baseball scene, I can tell he actually isn't proud of his son because he won a baseball game. He's proud of his son because him winning a baseball game fixed his own reputation. The movie introduces him as a shallow asshole who shuts Chicken Little down when he tries to explain himself, and stays this way until Chicken Little finally talks some sense into him at the end of the film. You know what? Enough about Buck Cluck. Again, everyone's already spoken about him to hell and back, plus he's not the only character in the movie. The other characters are way better, right? Chicken Little himself is probably the best character out of the main cast. You do feel bad for him considering how bad he's treated by the town and even his father, and he does have some creative ideas on how to get out of risky situations. But other than that, he really is your by-the-books butt monkey. And you know that the butt monkey trope isn't dead and will never be dead. I also don't buy how the town instantly forgives him after winning one baseball game. There's also Abby, who's the generic love interest of the movie. And I'm sorry, are we Tails? Oh right, it was Shrek did that, and this movie wants to be Shrek so bad. Anyways, Lilo and Stitch did the Ugly Duckling thing better. She also is the voice of reason of the film, and it's the one to get Chicken Little to tell his father off for being a huge runt, who's the second worst character of the movie. He's basically the basic comic relief character, but he doesn't say anything that could become close to funny, and I actively hate his conclusion in the film. Then there's Fish, who I actually have mixed feelings on. He can be funny and cute, at least when he isn't non-verbally spewing pop culture references. And he isn't unlikable or a bad person. Literally everyone I just talked about. I also like this little alien Kirby, he's innocent. I also like the mayor, he's actually really funny, despite being a dick like the rest of the town. So for my next points, did the animation and humor for this movie work at all? This may come as surprising to you, but Chicken Little is actually a mixed bag when it comes to its humor. There are a few funny moments in the movie, but other than that, Chicken Little doesn't really have jokes. It more has fat phobia and dated pop culture references. Fat phobia is not funny. While pop culture references in Chicken Little aren't as terribly used as Dougal uses them, they still need a specific context for them to actually work. They are funny when used properly. Chicken Little has the characters saying random pop culture references and expects the audience to laugh when the kids watching are confused to why Runt is saying random things that have no context or meaning to the scene. But enough talking about the film's need to reference pop culture every 5 minutes. Let's talk about how this is Disney's first fully CGI animated film outside of Pixar and how the animation holds up today. So does the animation hold up? Well, I can definitely see this is Disney's first animated CGI film. And I don't mean that nicely. While it isn't a total eyesore to look at, it definitely isn't nice to look at. The character designs are honestly a mixed bag. The characters can either look okay or make me feel like I'm in purgatory, but to be fair, it doesn't look as bad as Dinosaur. How sad is that? But that was 4 years before Chicken Little, so who cares? The animation definitely isn't stiff, but it is way too expressive considering how below average the actual animation is. Again, I want to be fair to this film because it was Disney's first time fully animating a film in CGI. It has also made much more appealing CGI movies since then, so the animation for this movie can no longer be excused of criticism. I can't say more on the animation other than it isn't good, so let's move on to... So you may be asking, is this my least favorite Disney movie? I mean, I could try and compare this to Dougal, but we all know Dougal is both subjectively and objectively worse in every way. Back on the Disney thing. I thought about it, and when it comes to if I'd rather sit through a bad Shrek clone or one of Disney's modern live-action remakes, I'd prefer Chicken Little, no doubt. With the exception of Lion King 2019, Chicken Little is so much worse than any of the modern Disney remakes. But it is the more interesting experience to watch. It's a train wreck of a motion picture in so many ways, and I love it because of that. Chicken Little is so fun to make fun of and pick apart, and I think that is the reason we talk about it so much. The Disney remakes, on the other hand, are bland and soulless. They add nothing of worth, and slanders past movies that hold really dear to my heart. Chicken Little is so hard for me to hate because of nostalgia and how beautifully bad it is. Despite everything I've covered today, I'd highly recommend watching Chicken Little just for how much personality it has. It makes me feel angry and confusion on how a movie like this could exist, let alone come out from a respected animation studio like Disney. And would you rather have a movie like that than a movie that makes you feel nothing? So yeah, that's it for my thoughts on Chicken Little. One more thing I'd like to add on before I close off this video. One Little Slip is such a banger of a song. Disney should have saved it for one of their better animated films like Meet the Robinsons. Whoops, I have spoken of the unspeakable movie.